Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR, coming at you with another edition of VR news with a loaded agenda of things to talk about.
Loaded.
And a little special treat at the end of the episode when we're all done. We're going to end the episode with our first ever edition of a new community segment that we're going to call Tech Tips with TPZ.
Ooh, that name should sound familiar to anyone in our Discord.
Yeah, we've done a previous community thing with shoes with, what was it? Shoes Clues?
That's what we called it, but Shoes had a much better name for it.
Yeah, we got to get another edition of that too.
So hard.
We're going to be trying to do more of that stuff as well, but this will be our first one with Tech Tips with TPZ, which is inspired by a walkabout mini golf game session you had with the community where you just saw TPZ on the fly, rolling with some, I guess, on the fly tech support. That kind of impressed you.
But yeah, I could see the genuine
passion for it.
Care and want to help someone, and maybe he could help. And while we were golfing, and you know what it's like when you give someone like tech advice, you have to picture it in your head so you can walk, click this, do this, what's it say? And I'm like, man, this guy's golfing and doing damn good at it while doing live tech support. I'm like, this is cool. And some of the stuff he was mentioning, I was like, wow, these are things that don't come with like, oh, I want to play PC VR or whatever. It's like you got to find all these answers yourself.
You're going to go Googling, or then you're going to find these answers on Reddit forums and such. But why not just
blah blah blah?
Why not just get it in a palatable format in a little segment? So on this,
someone that knows what they're talking about.
So the first one, we'll just be kind of talking about some like out of the box tips for getting into PC VR, and then we'll take some questions from the community for future iterations, and we'll roll with it from there. So stay tuned for that at the end of the episode. But like I said, loaded agenda of things to talk about today.
Loaded.
And I'll kick it off with one that, it's so hard to pick what is my favorite news piece each week. And I'm not going to say this is my favorite, but damn, it's up there. It's a hard one to beat. And that's because Medieval Dynasty New Settlement is finally getting a co-op update this month on November 18th. That is huge. Right around the corner, a week away, 7 days away. This day next week, we will have co-op in Medieval Dynasty New Settlement.
This is just going to be a co-op news segment to some degree.
Yep, because
that's some other stuff. But
game changer.
Hey, yeah, we were excited when we knew they were going to do it. I believe they were going to do it. They've done it in a really solid time frame.
I have to give you props as well too, because this is a huge, successful prediction from you.
Yeah,
about a game that would work in VR.
Yeah,
you talked about it when the game first ever came out. I've talked about this before on the podcast, so I apologize to the routine listeners who've heard this story before. But
get it?
Yeah, you played it. You came over for instantly this game needs to come to VR.
Just made for it,
and then boom. It comes out in VR, a VR spin-off. It's not a one-to-one port.
It was pure coincidence.
But I've loved this port of it. I've loved this game.
What a game to port. I mean, if you're going to port a game, it's like go all in, right?
And they've done a great job with updates and bug fixes and graphic enhancements. And they've constantly innovated on it. And they've teased that co-op's going to come to it eventually. But it's one of those, see it when you believe, or you'll believe it when you see it. It's like...
Hear a lot of things.
You know the way game development goes, but for it to be 7 days away, I am so excited for this one. So huge props to the developers getting that done overall relatively fast.
Dude, it's a great game. Game
came out this year.
For some people, it's the only game you need. Like you can exist and just play that, and life is great.
Well, now that we can go in it co-op.
Yeah, I'll jump back.
Oh my goodness, dude! Yeah.
Start from the beginning.
Some survival stuff. Build a city together. Build our little
What I like is it's gonna really speed up the process
in terms of resource hunting and shit too. Dude, let's go. So I'm excited for this one.
When the whole town is on your shoulders, like you are starting your town. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of friggin' work to do before you can hire anybody or
Any survival game, I like being with another player more. Like, that's what's so appealing about Grim is the fact that we get to be loot rats together, or Into Black, which we've been playing a bit recently. We played it last night. Dude, we go in there and we're like, we're just crazy with our lasers, scooping up all the resources and that, but it's just so much more fun together. So when we can go into Medieval Dynasty New Settlement.
You know when I knew it was going to be a great game just in general? Before, like, even the first time I chopped a tree down in the flat screen version, the tree landed on me. 99% of the times the tree lands on you in a game, nothing happens. I died. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I like played the game for 5 minutes, dude. I chopped down my first big ass tree,
and they have made
kills me.
They have made the VR version much more forgiving with stuff like that.
Everything about the VR version, I think, is a little easier.
Yep, it's much more forgiving. They spoke about that when we interviewed them too. That was a little intentional, but yeah, great game.
But no, I'm happy the trees don't kill you
in VR.
In VR, yeah, man. I was thrown off because I became accustomed to the doesn't matter if it hits me, it's no big deal. No crunch. Like, well played. But no, I'm excited to go back in it, and I think that's huge news.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one,
especially for us because we selfishly love the game. So in the world of updates
of games we love,
right? Speaking of games we love, Tropico got a nice
Tropico on the MetaQuest.
Yes, Tropico on the MetaQuest.
They don't call it Tropico VR, as mind-boggling as that is.
Tropico on the MetaQuest has received a visual enhancement update for the Quest 3.
Ooh, and then they did specify, too. It's silly that they got to, but the 3S as well, too. The Quest 3 family.
It's got the 3. It's part of it now at this point.
I like the Quest 3 family. I think that's what I'm rolling with.
Then it would be the 3F.
The 3.
You'd have to just call it the 3F now.
If it has...
It's 3F compatible.
Yep. If it has the 3 in the name, this is the updates for...
Actually, that's really perfect.
The 3 family?
Just the 3F. If you see, like, compatible with 3F...
I think throwing another abbreviation is just too confusing at this point. It's Quest 3 family.
Fucking made up the S anyways. Doesn't even mean anything.
Might as well throw an F in there.
Throw an F in there. So F is for family.
I'm excited to check this out.
Great cartoon.
I haven't seen firsthand the visual update.
No, I'm excited to go in there. My only issue with it I had last time with some of the water imaging was like, ugh. But the actual game and the gameplay and the visuals that existed before such said update, I was pretty okay with.
They did something interesting in that game too, that it dynamically scaled down resolution as like performance took a hit. So your frame rates never dropped. At least when I played it, I never had like lag and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the graphics, I could see them real time worsen for like 30 seconds or a minute, and then they would crispen up again. I was like, that's so interesting.
Mother Gunship.
Yep, Mother Gunship does the same thing.
Yep.
But I mean, I would rather the graphics go down for a minute than get laggy, right? It's such a great compromise.
There's another, there's a game I just played. It's a vampire shooting game of all games. And for some reason, I was compelled to buy it because it said like you can
on flat screen or VR?
Flat screen on Xbox. But I say it because it's like, I'd say guaranteed you're going to see this in VR. It'd be crazy not to.
Basically, remember what it's called?
Man, I could pull it up. I'll pull it up at some point on my, because I have the Xbox app on my phone. But yeah, you start with like a machine gun and then you scoop up other guns and it auto shoots. You just aim at all the different. It's like, think of it as like a survivor.
Is it kind of like Mother Gunship Forge? Is that why you mentioned it?
Only because you keep adding on extra weapons. So you can have a stacked house of weapons and it's randomized shit. So you can put together interesting.
I still think Mother Gunship Forge is my number one favorite weapon crafting system I've ever had.
But I need someone else to step to the plate now because if that is to rest and what exists with Mother Gunship is the last we see of it.
It's too good of a system to die like that.
Someone else needs to start scooping on what they...
Imagine that system in an open world co-op game.
Dude, it's like, I'll take any game that's going to do what they do.
Such a good system.
It's still a great game, though.
And then speaking of games that we've been playing as well, we had a fun time with Dumb Ways to Die in VR. Well, I think the name is Dumb Ways Free For All. bunch of mini games in a funny universe where I guess you're a bean. We discovered
Bean, yeah.
we never played the flash screen
I
version.
thought it was a grimace.
They're very funny characters. They got a little badoinky doink on it too. You got some curves on that bean.
Well, it's a bean.
Well, it's not a straight down bean. They kind of curve out the backside of the bean too. But it's fun, man. There's a lot of mini games in there. You play in like series of like 6 or 7 mini games at a time in each batch. And geez, I don't even know the exact number. All I know is that there was 3 pages of batches of it. Like, there's definitely well over 30 mini games. Let me go to their store page, see if I can get an exact number on that. But there's a bunch of mini games in there. Really fun, different variety of them. Me and you were super competitive with it, which is cool because like you can play up to 6 people. So you can already tell like with a full group, like it's going to be competitive.
I think that's where it's going to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Is like it's one of those cases where you can do like 1v1 and have a blast, but you want the absolute maximum of it. You're going to need that full group.
Well, even with 2 people, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah,
but I agree with what you said. Like 6 people.
I think you load that up with 6 people. It's like every one of those games we play takes on a totally different.
They say 50 unique mini games in this one. So if they say 50 unique mini games across 2 incredible destinations, I feel like that doesn't do it justice because it's so many batches of 6 or 7 mini games.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get so much.
Dude, there's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I was even saying in there, I wish you could do like a custom round where you go, I want to do, because right now it's like you select batch 1 of mini games or you pick batch 5, and in there's, X amount of mini games. I wish you could pick like, I want to do a series of best of 12 and you pick which one of each individual mini games are or something like that.
Maybe when you unlock them all.
Maybe that does come up. Yeah.
Maybe
I guess
there.
I can't say you don't.
Right? It's possible.
But dude, perfect 5-star review or perfect 5-star rating on it.
I would challenge somebody to like, what are you going to shit on?
Mm-hmm.
It's like funny. It's fun. It can be challenging. It can be quirky. It's, in a group setting, I think it's great.
Feels like it built off the foundation of Loco Dojo with a lot of things. I'm like, wow, this is like the amount of mini games Loco Dojo needed.
Another example of a game that, could have ran with it and had their own thing going on. And I'm not in no which way or form crapping on Loco Dojo because I love it. But I wish that it had grown or like a whole new table.
It was an existing PC VR game for years that they had kind of like finished up with, and then they just brought it to the Quest as a port. But I agree with you.
Run with it, man.
I wish the Quest port of it brought it new life as well too. But Dumb Ways to Die, man, or Dumb Ways Free for All, super fun in VR. I want to get a whole crew from our Discord on it.
If we see 6 people have flagged that they own it in our Discord,
we definitely got to set something up.
So really, we only need 4 more people.
Mm-hmm. We kept having close ones where, like, example, if there were 7 mini games, it would be 3 and 3 into the 7th one, stuff like that. Really intense. You kept beating me though. It's fucked up too, because when you win, you're on a big pedestal. Yeah. When you lose, you're down there crying. Beans crying,
making a sad face.
Yeah, and then you're shooting me with your gun. You're shooting the food off my table. I'm like, must be nice to be up there, huh?
King of the Hill, baby.
But super fun. A lot of variety. There's like repeating concepts too of like throwing.
Wicked good family game.
Oh my goodness, yeah. If you have like multiple people in the house that all own headsets, space each other out because you're going to be throwing and swinging.
Not too badly though.
No.
Not too badly.
It's mostly stationary.
I have the ceiling fan above me, so I can attest that I did not hit the ceiling fan.
It passed your low ceiling test.
It really did.
I think my best one was the ones where you block the things coming at you. And you tended to want me pretty good on throwing ones.
Yeah, the throwing or
the bowling ones were fun too. Oh man, all of them were fun. It's a good game. No, there was one I think you had a bug with.
I want to unlock everything. Yeah, I couldn't get the spear one.
Well, I had a bug with smashing the crabs as well too.
So we're 1 for 1 with a small.
But it was funny. You're like, if I never play that one again, I'm happy.
Yep, like that one done. I don't ever want to play it again. I'm all set with that.
But fun game.
I know. I mean, there's 40 something more. What the hell?
So great game. I'll give them credit for like a mini games game. Like with 50 mini games in there, they hit the nail on the head. That's what we've been wanting more of.
And
in
for
VR.
the price, dude,
yeah, $19.99, and they do say
it's worth every penny.
They say too that 2 free DLC updates are on their way. This is right off their store page. On December 9th, you'll be able to travel to Freezerville, and in January to I don't know how to pronounce that, Beanulon, Benolian Prime. Each update will include an extra 25 mini games to keep the free-for-all fun.
How can they not go to Beantown?
So that's a total, dude. Oh my goodness!
You know
That's a
what I'm
total of
saying?
100 mini games when they add
Can't
these
do
two.
a Boston themed one.
So $19.99, you're getting 2 free DLCs over the next 2 months, from December and January,
What does that really mean?
doubling the amount of mini games.
You're teasing me with DLCs, but what does that mean?
What do you mean?
Am I getting a game, like a mini game?
No, they said 25 extra mini games in each
25?
DLC. Total
Like
of 50, extra 50 in total.
Damn, dude.
That's 100 mini games in total, counting the base. So they got 50 right now. They're going to put out a DLC with 25 more mini games in a month. And then a month after
Another
that,
one.
25. Dude, we got to do a Discord night with us.
I wonder if they'll do the similar price models to Walkabout for paid ones.
Right? As of
But
right now, no talk of paid ones.
I give them a lot of props for thinking of different ways to come up with different games, though. So.
50 more mini games coming
Mhm.
in total by the
That's
end,
crazy,
by
dude.
the start of next year. That's huge. Huge. So,
Wow.
Yeah, good for them. I didn't even know about that till honestly right now. So 5-star rating too, like you said. Challenge you to play that. Like buy it knowing what it is and be like it's not 5-star.
Yeah, dude, so far I can't find any.
Mhm.
I even had an issue, and I wouldn't knock it.
Like I said, the only thing I'll ask for is custom rounds where you can, select how many mini games you want to play and maybe which ones. Just because, think if you're doing a group of 6 and you guys you don't want to do just little rounds of 6 because each mini game's what, 2 minutes, a
The
minute.
yellow bean looks like a Twinkie to me.
Yeah, dude, they're funny looking things, man.
Mhm.
They did a great job with the humor of the game, throwing bananas at monkeys, bowling crabs, swatting away bugs.
I was gonna say whoever got the job of the avatar artistry was
Mhm.
like, oh, this is great.
No, they did a great
Fucking
job.
bean.
So that wasn't even on my list. That was just kind of going. I will give you props too. We played some chess club VR
Yeah.
again. You whooped me pretty
We
good.
did
in that.
one of the blitz rounds, and then
Mhm.
we started with a normal round.
Yeah,
We
Blitz.
haven't played in a while.
No, it'll be fun to do that one again too. So
I feel like I got lucky because last time when we were playing a lot,
Mhm.
and you were. I saw you getting better.
well,
Like you were whooping my ass.
didn't happen on this one.
No.
So
Or in a blitz round.
this is one I'm so freaking excited for. 'Cause
Yeah, well, who knows? I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, we've been talking about this game. We were like, where is this game? Because remember that first trailer they put out of that? So VRSO Bareknuckle Boxing.
Mm.
Geez, over a year ago they put out this trailer. The first time they announced it, and it was too good to be true, right? It looked so tight, and then it was radio silence. I was like, you started to be like, is this shit real? Then I went on their Discord. They're still kind of posting teasers and updates, but I'm like, I'm nervous because it was so polished to start. And they've announced that they are now rebranding from VRSO Bareknuckle Boxing to Underdog Boxing, and they're going to have a release date by the end of the year. So in the rebranding of,
Which means we don't see it till well into 25.
well, I need to look
Right.
into that. I'll get clarification on that in
The
a
small
moment.
print.
If it's coming out this year, or it's the release date's
They're gonna be
announced by
releasing
the
the
end.
date.
Yeah,
sometime this year.
yeah. I'll double check that in a moment. But they put out a good amount of footage of the new build of the game, which is primarily with gloves now. They did say bare knuckle boxing is still going to exist in the game.
It'll be a game feature.
Yes, a game mode. The game does look tight though. I mean, it looks fun. I wonder how much, because I feel like in the bare knuckle initial release, they were really leaning into the blood and the cuts, and the bruising element. I don't know how prevalent that's actually going to be now in the final build, but let's see.
I hope so, dude.
There's going to be multiplayer in it.
I'm torn on Underdog Boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Only because when I hear the word underdog now, my brain instantly goes to
Underdogs.
underdogs.
Yeah.
So from a marketing strategy, you're going to have to really separate, somehow get it to like people won't. And even what do you do with the mechs and underdogs, right?
You swing and you hit.
Fucking swing and you box and you do,
And honestly, a game just came out, flat screen, Undisputed Boxing. This follows a very similar story to me because this is VRSO, Bareknuckle Boxing, to Underdog Boxing, and Undisputed Boxing. When I first started following that game, was called ESBC, Esports Boxing Championship, and then they rebranded to a Undisputed Boxing. Also starts with a U.
Yeah,
it's like these 4-letter boxing abbreviation name games, both switching to boxing names that start with a U. It's weird. It's a very similar path.
but I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that we get cuts, we get bruises, we get
The physics look good.
physics.
I had commented to you that like, oh, the punches don't look like it has the most impact. And you're like, well, I think they're just more trying to show off. You kind of came to their defense on that.
Yeah,
You're
like I think they're just showing like I don't think like that person was swinging.
The visuals look tight.
Yeah, I mean, this is one we've both been excited for. So I'm hoping that like we didn't hype it up more in our own head and imagination on what it could be versus what it is. But I'm definitely gonna try it, dude.
They said their AI like cycles through 1,000 different
let's talk
motion
about that.
tracking.
Let's talk about
animations to find the one that's the most natural for the moment. And it did look smooth in the video they
that
showed.
means that they can have an unbeatable AI.
Well, that's what you first said. You're like, so that means it's as hard as they want it to. Like if they want it, so you never
99.9% win ratio, they could do that.
It would be fun, dude, if they had like a Floyd Mayweather character in there. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's head
Just
movement.
tap you the whole time.
People can say like the character could be as hard as they wanted because nobody ever beat Floyd Mayweather in professional boxing. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't just be able to go in there and just walk through the guy, right? It would be fun to fight a character with like, dude, good luck with that head movement. You know what I mean? You really got
like a real point fighter.
You really got to trap him in the corner and work that body, you know? Oh man, I'm excited. But now it's what you said. Is it overhyping?
Did we over? I mean, when it was just bare knuckle, I was like,
now we can get street and gnarly, missing teeth,
cool.
blood coming out of the mouth.
I basically heard like, all right, get ready for boxing,
let's
blah, blah, blah.
get ready to rumble.
You got this, you got the gloves, and you got some game mode for bare knuckle, and we got the guy over here boxing with the gloves on, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh.
You liked the novelty of the bare knuckle.
I liked it because you were
backyard, gnarly.
Kind of doing your own thing,
Yeah. Let's be real.
What if they had a campaign thing where, your guy got better, the arenas got better,
That's what I really want in a boxing game. In VR.
All started in a bar one night.
We're missing it. Well, wouldn't it be cool if they took you through a journey where your guy starts bare knuckle, gets into the amateurs, some coach finds him, cleans him up a bit, you go through the amateurs,
kid.
You go through the Amies, then you go pro, and then you're a world champion boxer by the end.
Yeah, so I think the whole bare knuckle aspect of it, the emphasis that we had put on it,
is now a boxing game.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's now officially a boxing game.
And let's be real. Thrill the Fight. Early access is end of this month.
Yeah, that was kind of the other thing that's weighing on my mind. Like,
Thrill the Fight's going to launch early access with just multiplayer, though. No single player at start.
That's all right, because what do we want?
Speak
we
for
want
yourself.
Story mode. Yeah,
no, I don't want story mode. I want a campaign. I want a career mode. I want a level. I want to go through rankings.
But I'll be happy to be able to play it.
Yeah, I think that these two might end up a little neck and neck. I think it's going to be like, what's the best boxing game of the year? Is not a conversation I thought I was going to have.
If they're coming out this year.
Yeah, let me look at that.
If that's 100%. Because if it's, if it's like, well, I don't know if it could come out by the end of this year. Because if they announce it, so let's say they announce it next week. What are they going to say? We're coming out in a month.
Yep. It says coming to MetaQuest by the end of 2024.
Damn. So they're going to make an announcement that's saying it's coming within the next 45 days.
Yes.
Dude.
And they say all the footage that they showed from that trailer is directly recorded from the MetaQuest headset.
Okay. I believe.
Not an engine.
That I totally believe. It didn't look like there was any CGI or, over exaggeration going on in the trailer at all.
What concerns me a little bit is that there's no reference to any campaign mode or career mode or anything like that. Looks like they're going heavy on just their physics and that there's multiplayer.
I hope the minute you log into the game, you hear Brataman.
Because they just say, and
just go right to Underdogs.
They just call it single player mode, you know? But, you know, let's see. They have no price yet, no official release date.
No.
Well, whoa.
What happened? What'd you see?
Their page says coming soon, November 2024.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
Oh.
2020, November, this month?
Oops.
That's according to their store page. It could just be that it's out of date. You know, it could be that it's coming in December, but
I'll go with November.
If that's coming this month.
If they're coming out to say when it's coming and we know it's coming before the end of the year and there's only a freaking month left, month and a half, then I could see it coming up then.
Well, we're starting to see games delayed. We'll talk about that a bit more in a moment of games that were scheduled to come out that are now pushed into the end of or next year in some cases even. So let's see.
I just think people are learning their lesson from other games that came out that probably shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? No. You know what? We should probably relook at ours. Make sure everything's really perfect. Because, dude, let's be honest. Some games took a beating this year, especially with releases. So on cool news of a bar alley with co-op, we're finally, quotes allegedly, we're going to get an update in a few weeks on when Green Hell VR will finally get co-op.
Back to back, two great games that both needed it.
It's kind of, the problem is like you got Medieval Dynasty. Now you're going to have this. It's like, I'll probably go Medieval Dynasty first before I go into, I'm hoping they make some sort of change or something so that there's good incentive for us to be co-op in Green Hell.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, we've been dying since the game came out. And we knew they were working on it. But now they're going to give us concrete. I say it with a smile because it was said a long time ago.
I know, dude. I stopped thinking it was actually even ever going to come.
Going to happen.
But here we are.
It's coming. A few weeks.
I'm excited
to find out. So we'll stay on top of that one because I do like Green Hell.
Yeah, Green Hell VR.
They did a great job with that, dude. Visually, it's great.
We're gonna fight. Well, now, I feel like that's the game that kicked off.
Well, we want
what are they
Survivor.
called? Capybaras.
Capybara. Yeah,
I never heard of a capybara before.
Dude, everybody. I'd love a capybara or 3. Because you got to have a couple. You can't just have one. You'll have a sad capybara. Be all depressed. I just like them.
We actually had a pretty long capybara conversation the other week. Quite cute creatures. And I feel bad because that was my primary food source in Green Hell.
I don't feel bad because I was hungry.
Bashed him with a rock, What can you do?
The cutest thing in the world. But if it's me or him in my belly, then he's in my belly. I don't give a shit how cute. We can keep the head. He can be cute all the time. No, but you can own them.
Like you said, just multiple.
Yeah, you got to own a few. You got to have a good amount of land. They need a pool. They're not carefree. For a rodent, it's not very carefree like a mouse. You just give it wood shavings and pellets or whatever the hell they eat now. Who knows?
But for a game that we had kind of just assumed it would never actually come, huge props that they're bringing co-op to Green Hell.
So I totally anticipate hearing a date. And if I don't hear a date in a few weeks.
This end of the year is nuts. There's too much going on.
Unbelievable amount of stuff.
It's too much. You can't play it all. We were not at this point a year ago.
It. VR's popping.
There's so many good titles.
Think of this shit. What's going to happen mid next year with all the amount of releases coming in the year after that? At what point does the meta store truly become?
We are starting to see big titles push into next year.
Crazy.
And I don't think it's only because of bugs and stuff. I think we're seeing delays because of other releases.
They want to make money.
But think of it. That means already to start the year next year, we're getting loaded up with releases. Mm-hmm. So what about for those small devs that they're going to delay? Now it's like.
What about all the stuff we have no clue
about? My goodness.
Right?
Think of it. If Underdog Boxing is coming out this month, that means we went from not knowing about it to not knowing when more was ever going to come out, to a full rebranding and release all in under 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. All right. So this one's exciting because this is a developer we've talked to several times now. Honestly, one of my favorite developers to talk to. He's such an interesting dude. Created by Dr. Ben Outram, who probably doesn't call himself Doctor too much, but we did talk to him about that side. It was in like Fluid. Oh man, it's so bad that I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It was an awesome discussion.
Remember that?
I remember that.
And
yeah,
we've had him on a couple
really
times.
Yeah.
Very fun interviews.
Dude's a doctor. He's a doctor, dude.
So Squinge was like I don't even know how to describe it. It's so unique. You have to get from point A to point B. Like you have to guide the thing from point A to point B.
Through LSD intestines?
Yeah, but through a labyrinth of these intestinal maze, so to say. I don't even know how else to describe it. You know, it looks...
It's exactly what it is.
It's a beautiful game, though. And it's so fun.
Yeah, dude. He did something original.
5-star total rating on the Quest store as well, too, after all these years.
Still.
That was the one game.
Dude.
Remember that? How we always had our list of like games that, you know, that was the one that we had advocated for so hard and wasn't on the official store. Of course, everything is now.
Yeah.
But they announced that Squinge will get a brand new edition later this month. Published, too, by the same developers of VRSO Games. Very unexpected.
Cool. Yeah.
Very unexpected combo, right? You would think like Fast Travel, Beyond Frames.
Well, I mean, V-Rider's racing.
So, VRAL is now stepping into that list of I won't be surprised if there's a couple other games that suddenly pop up in the next, 6 months that like.
Although V-Rider's great.
Amazing game.
I wonder how that is with the Roto chair.
Oh, probably amazing. Probably amazing.
Although you'd have to like look in the corner and it yeah, dude.
But Squinge's coming out, like I said, re-released coming out, published by VRAL Games. It's going to have, just like the previous version, fully immersive VR. It's going to have VR version and mixed reality support as well. So later this month, November 21st, it's coming to the Quest platform. Also, the existing version of Squinge, if you go to the store page, is now called Squinge Legacy. And it's also been delisted, so you can't buy it anymore.
Legacy, if you own it, you own it.
Yeah, if you own it, you
don't.
Mm-hmm.
Missed out. You're going to be wishing you own Squinge Legacy. That's pretty cool, man. No, I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy that it's getting more attention because I believed in it. You believed in it. For some reason, it was like, I think, one of only two games of a ton.
That and Atlas Mystery, really?
Yeah.
It's coming out, like I said, November 21st for $19.99, but you can pre-order it now for $17.99. It says pre-order for exclusive bonus content. I don't know what that bonus content is, but it's what it is. Hey, you know what's cool?
No.
Ruff Talk VR is still on their store page.
We are. Yes.
Yeah, woo. See, that was one of the OG App Lab games we covered. Dr. Benjamin Outram.
Yep.
What a cool dude. If you haven't listened to it yet, go check out those interviews with Ben, but I'm so happy to see Squinge.
Smart freaking dude.
Re-released, yeah.
I remember going deep into that kind of, like, that's all I really wanted to
almost too smart
about.
For this industry, like
too smart for my pea brain. But I loved like the stuff that was being talked about. All right, so in small talk of like games holding back this year, it has been confirmed that Zombie Army VR will be delayed until 2025 on all platforms. So it's not like Quest 3 is just holding it up, but that came from publisher Rebellion.
Well, and it's funny, they're Rebellion's the publisher, but the developer XR Games, they're the same ones that unfortunately had the Hitman release, and then they had Starship Troopers Continuum delayed in October to November. Supposed to come out November 14th. I'll believe it when I see it, and that's not to be negative. It's just week. It's just like, I did see some early impressions on Starship Troopers Continuum though that were very positive.
Yeah,
I think that's their best release that they have brewing. I'm excited when you look at like IPs.
I don't think we'll ever know what happened with
Hitman.
We can only just pray that it. I mean, if they're holding back Zombie Army
till next year, I think that means that they
quality issues or whatever, then thank you. will live with that because at this point, reputations are on the line, and it's like you cannot. I think I said it after Hitman came out. Is like everyone's watching your next releases, knowing they're coming.
Dare I say, if Starship Troopers Continuum bombs, which I don't think it will. I actually think this one's going to be very well received, actually, based off of what I've heard.
Early feedback.
But in a different world where it's a bad game, I mean, there might not be a Zombie Army VR next year. Like, they might not survive another bad release.
No.
You know what I mean?
And that's kind of why I think
they delayed it. Let's just focus on
the scuttle of the quality of Starship is going to be, it's going to put the money in there.
And look, Starship was supposed to come out last month. If you look at it reasonably, they might have just had too much on their plate coming out at the same time. That's 3 games in like 2 months of each other. That's a little. That means that whole development, they were working on those 3 games at the same time.
I don't know their inner workings, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that wasn't like a newbie mistake. Like, we shouldn't have done that.
It's just the way the cookies crumble.
Yeah,
the way the cards fall. They sign IP deals. That's the time it's got to come out.
I'd love to know.
Yeah.
I would, but I don't think I'll get honest. Like, I don't think we're ever going to talk to anybody from the company and get like true honest. Like, hey, this is what went wrong.
But I got faith in Continuum though, in Starship Troopers Continuum,
because if the game was game tested, then all that somebody knows something. Or you've got really, really bad game testers who like couldn't figure out the obvious real quick.
That's probably why Zombie Army was delayed.
Yeah, that's kind of my gut on that one. But Starship, like you said, the little bit of scuttlebutt coming about it is pretty damn good. So speaking of delays too, that'll kind of be a theme throughout a lot of this episode. Which is funny. I'm starting to think some of these aren't performance related too. It's the pack schedule. But Servios, with their upcoming game Alien Rogue Insurgent, they announced that the Quest 3 and the 3S version is now delayed until next year. Only the Quest version though. That saddens me because I really thought I wanted it to be a player in 24 amongst the Batman and Behemoth. I was like, this is going to be freaking good. So that one kind of stung a little.
It is still coming out on PlayStation VR 2 and Steam on December 14th. This is one of the few times I've seen just the Quest version delayed. I feel like recently it's been like, the PlayStation or the Steam version delayed with the Meta version coming out first. I wonder if it's performance related or if they're going, look, on the Steam and PlayStation stores, we can still survive in that time as a release, whereas on the Meta store, we're going to be a little baried.
Oh, they're an instant top 10 on the PlayStation store.
That's what I'm saying. Like they can
instant.
They
but
can
is
still
that
drop.
Gonna pay the bills. When data says otherwise, right?
Well, look, if they're still going to do good on those platforms, I get why that's put it out December 19th. Are they going to do as good on Meta on December 19th? Probably not.
Or are they just pushing it early out on those platforms and we'll get the fixed version on the Quest?
I'm curious. There's a lot of things we'll never fully know.
This is one that can't be bad.
You got confidence in it?
Well, I got confidence that it has to be good. There's no in between with this one. I'm sorry, but aliens, dude, really? Come on.
You're saying you mean it like holding them to a high standard, like they can't drop the ball, or like you just have faith that's going to be good?
If you look at the year of the first Aliens movie, I think you're going into the 70s or 80, like 80 tops maybe. It's like you're fucking with a franchise that's been around. People my age.
This is some of the highest standard
who remember the first one.
This is some of the highest standard I think I've ever heard you speak of a game.
Yeah,
like they can't play. You're like they cannot. There's no in between. I thought you were saying at first, like you're confident they're pulling it off.
Oh,
good.
No,
you're meaning like the standard that you're holding. Like they need to do.
Holding you to a high standard.
Okay,
1,000,000%. Just like
no effing around with the Alien IP to you. You don't play games with that.
No, dude, it's
too iconic.
And I will admit I haven't seen like the newest of Alien movies and shit, but from where this all started back in the day, oh my God, dude. Aliens was the shit. Scary as hell. That something like that could even exist. Ripping out of your belly. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one in VR. So PlayStation.
I pray they just hold it together good.
That was a fun one, though. Alien Rogue Insursion coming to the Quest 3 and Quest 3S, unfortunately, next year, but still coming to PlayStation and PC VR this year.
And it could be strictly the Batman Behemoth issue going
I think
on.
it's probably that more
I thought
than
they were going to
performance.
hold their own in 24. I was confident. So, coming from the team that brought us Hubris, going a totally opposite direction from Cyborn comes Walltown Wonders, a game that we got to try in, I'll call it a game/experience. We got to try in Germany at Gamescom.
Mm-hmm.
And holy crap, I could have spent an easy couple hours doing it. I think, what did we do? 15 minutes each, I think.
Yeah, just about.
Which is just enough to just wet the whistle of like how much more you want to do. But you talk about a game that I feel right now, in my opinion, is going to utilize mixed reality in one of the greatest ways we've seen so far.
Dare I say, it's going to be one of the best releases for mixed reality this year, if not the best.
I confidently say it.
Dude.
Absolutely confidently. The graphics, I'm just going on what I saw in Germany. So things can obviously change, but I can't think they would change things for the worse. But it was just fun as hell, dude. So we will get to experience this in a short few weeks come November 21st.
So game's coming out November 21st.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a good one.
They're going to crush it. I can't remember our top of my head who's competing with them on November 21st.
I'll pull up all the list of upcoming November releases, but they do say that if you pre-order, you do get obviously a small discount and exclusive skins for those buying early. So,
dude, the detail on these things, the little peoples.
Game's normally $19.99, but if you pre-order it, you're going to get it for $17.99. So, not too bad. It's one of the few games in mixed reality that's ever made me have to be cognitive. Like, I had
know your space.
I had to plan where I wanted to put things on my wall. I had to be like mindful of the space and where I was placing things. Probably one of the most creative usages of mixed reality. The GIFs they have on their store page are great too, of like the person coming out of the wall. It does.
That's game.
Yeah, that is the game.
Yep. Completely
the sleeper of Gamescom. You know, it's like I didn't hear about it previously prior to it. We went in there.
From Hubris to this.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Dude.
Extremely polished mixed reality game. And
did it not
it's going to be
ready
hard
in
to
Germany?
beat. Yeah, it's going to be. I didn't want to stop playing. I was like, dude.
I already know once it's in my paws, I'm not going to be able to stop. This screams me, dude.
It's going to be hard for this to not win mixed reality game of the year. Then this is
good.
Mixed reality game of the year is going to be a loaded category. So November 21st.
But yeah, so that's confirmed. That's not a delay. It's coming. And I'll tell you right now, I'd pre-order it. It's very rare when I get this excited, but.
Okay. So you ready to shit yourself? November 21st, we have Augmented Empire.
Yeah.
Another mixed reality game.
All right.
Great looking mixed reality game, actually.
Yeah.
So Augmented Empire, Bounce Arcade, Buy Grit Alone, Squinge, Thrill the Fight 2 Early Access, Walltown Wonders, and X-Fit. So we have 7 games on the Quest coming out that same day.
You know what? It sucks because of no, listen, man. Because of popularity, Thrill of the Fight, right?
Yep.
Thrill of the Fight 2 is going to be all over that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as best game in the bunch, my guess is Walltown Wonders.
Squingle's on there too, and Squingle's a great one too.
I love Squingle. But
and then so is Augmented Empire.
I'm not
going to
act like Walltown Wonders wasn't potentially great.
I know.
And there's, again, from what we played, which was only 15 minutes, and I can't see them have gone backwards with any of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great fucking game, dude.
And again, when you talk creative usages of
Augmented Empire, though,
that looks great too.
That one.
This is effed up, man. That's a lot for one day.
That one can do some damage.
There's no way a consumer can buy 7 games in one day.
Well, you could,
but like that's unreasonable.
Like Zuckerberg,
that's like, you get what I'm saying. Like, we're hitting that point.
I think he has to buy games. Do you think he legit buys games? You just think he puts on his headset and
owns everything. $1,000,000%.
You think so?
He owns the store.
I know, but
it's probably a small print of the freaking uploading your app. You
think he ever gifts anyone games?
Probably. probably gives people store credit, It's making
Yeah,
money
I just
at that
always
point.
wonder that shit. Like, does that dude sit there and just like go to his own store and like be like, I want that, I'll buy it, or is it just all super unlocked?
But November
I
21st,
want his build.
way too stacked of a day. I mean, when developers complain about diminishing sales and stuff, it's half store visibility and half the fact that, like, dude, there was a time that you could buy
You'd
every
be the only
game
one. Yeah,
coming out on the official store. You could.
it would be just you.
Correct. If you're the only release that game that day, one release, 2 releases per week, like, some consumers might buy every game. You're not buying 7 games.
Well, those days are done
in
And everything,
one
flat
day?
screen, Steam.
That's crazy.
So I guess in the big scale, it's not a lot.
And there's
compared
there's other games in November that still don't have a release date yet either, like Songbird.
Yeah.
That freaking singing game, that's coming out this month. What day? Nobody knows yet.
We'll call that Humbird. You're gonna steal
My Hummer.
Your Hummer.
So
Your
anyhow,
tactic of
I won't
how to
spend.
pull it off.
But Walltown Wonders on track to be one of the most innovative usages of mixed reality I've ever seen.
Unless unchanged, I just put it on your must buy.
I'm so excited to get my filthy hands on this one.
I would say buy it even if you don't like that style of game,
Mhm.
just because I haven't seen anything like it yet.
No, I'm so pumped. And like you said, huge switch from Hubris to Walltown Wonders. So Crystal Commanders, another game that's been delayed from November until February 27th. That's a significant
It's
delay.
3 months. It's almost a whole quarter, right?
So again, we're seeing games that were supposed to come out this month,
No, that is a quarter.
and they're already starting to populate early 2025. It's like these releases aren't slowing down by any means. February 27th is significant.
Mm-hmm.
And this one looks fun. It's a real-time strategy game. You can even 1v1 each other. Like, I'm excited to play it. But February 27th, it's a long ways away now. Who knows what that store is going to look like by then.
That also gives you a lot of time to market your product,
Mm-hmm.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, you just bought yourself 3 months of good, solid marketing and strategy and getting the word out. And
I don't think, dude, can I be honest with you too? I don't think December's going to be that stacked. I said that previously. Just like you look at all
no,
these
it's gonna be
games.
stacked with new headsets.
You look at
Getting Quest Plus.
the thing about December is that you're going to have a drop like Behemoth and such, but like look at the list difference of December to November. Like November is just stupid this year.
Well, they're cramming them all in so you don't compete with holiday shit
Mhm.
for December.
So yeah, Crystal Commander's another game that has delayed. Man, it's just, I think it's going to be a story that we hear more through the end of the year. Well, let's see.
Well, I just feel bad for people who delay and then they find out that the date they delayed to has been scooped
Mm-hmm.
by somebody more mighty and powerful, and then it's like, do we just delay again? And I get it, but we're going to be seeing more of this, I think,
Mm-hmm.
throughout the years, where the game is there, but they know something you don't, and they don't want any piece of it. Because, dude, again, think if GTA ever were to come to VR, it's like, what's that going to do to the store scene for the short term? So, on awesome news for me, Smash Drums dropped the DLC. It's already out. If you like metal, well, if you don't like metal, why are you playing Smash Drums? I'd say. But if you do like metal, you can get Bullet for My Valentine, Walk into the Demon, Children of Bodom, Are You Dead Yet? Love the name. Lamb of God, Laid to Rest, Megadeth, Hangar 18, and Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
All for what, $3.99?
Yeah, dude. Less than a Starbucks large.
Smash Drums has done a great job really pimping out their library
They-
of songs.
they're
Them and Drums
consistent.
rock both.
Yeah. They're staying consistent.
Mm-hmm. Correction too, because I said $3.99. The DLC cost is actually $5.99. It's $1.20 per song, but that's not bad.
Mhm.
5 songs for $6. That makes sense.
Dude, I don't,
Remember when you used to buy songs on iTunes for 99 cents per song?
Mhm.
Remember when that was the model?
still can.
Yeah, but nobody
Still
does that
can.
now. People pay $15.99 a month instead for Apple Music.
Well, in some cases, you do that and you still buy
Mhm.
buy songs
Mm-hmm.
because you stop paying the Apple shit. You don't own that.
But I mean,
song.
my joke on that is, I mean, at least like that's pretty comparable. $1.20, 99 cents. It's like the same
I just give them credit for staying with it.
for pumping it up. Yeah. So
Yeah, if sadly Unplugged is
they call it their Metal Legends
Dead.
music patch. They call it their Metal Legends music pad as well. I like that name, Metal Legends. So anyway, as always, huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, the people that support us week after week on the month after month on the Patreon. But as always, too, huge thank you to our listeners that tune in, listen to our just nonstop rambling about the VR scene. Appreciate you all tuning in, all that, enjoying it. So huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, Asim, Amelia, Carson, Earth Witness, Aspire Mike, Jake, Crispy, and Shoes. Thank you all for your continued support. And also thank you to everyone that engages and makes our Discord community as cool of a place as it is. You can find the link for our Patreon and our Discord in our show notes, our episode description. You go hit more info, then you'll see the link there. You can go join those. If you don't know anything about Discord, don't be scared. Go in, say hi. You should at least say hi. Sometimes people join and they just lurk a bit too, you know.
Look sus, bro.
So if you don't know Discord, don't be scared to say hi, and then, you know, we can help you from there. So thank you, everyone, and hope you enjoy the rest of this episode as well. And then getting back to the news, now that we gave the love to our Patreon supporters, Vertigo Games, they recently launched Metro Awakening, which we'll talk a little bit more in-depthly about soon. You know, we got a packed episode today, as is, but I instantly saw some people, you know, who aren't too big of spider fans commenting about the spiders in Metro Awakening.
It's the least of your concerns.
So Vertigo did announce that they'll be having a arachnophobia mode coming out soon that'll get rid of the spiders in the game for people that are like, well, I won't play it without that. Dungeons of Eternity even added an arachnophobia mode.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Which I'll say to Dungeons of Eternity, man, the spiders are such a unique enemy in there. You know,
spiders are assholes.
You're nerfing a tough enemy by taking them away. I know they don't change them into pumpkins, whatever, but that lunging mechanic is something tough sometimes, you know? So I'm just saying. Anywho, though, for you arachnophobia peeps who can't play Metro Awakening because of it, fear not. Vertigo Games is they're on the job.
Sometimes it just cracks me up with like the final straw for people is, you know, it's like, I'm not saying it's wrong to do that, to like have the ability to turn it off, but millions of people are scared of heights. They don't have like the pop one, you climb and the ground stays at your feet mode. You know, like you climb to the top of the tower and the ground is a foot away from you. So it's like, you know, like spiders, don't play a game with spiders because heights is a big thing, but whatever. I think it is cool that they do cater though to that. Just find it funny. So living room, did we talk about living room before?
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple weeks ago. No, probably a couple months ago. Before Gamescom, we talked about it.
Okay. So living room that we did talk about has their wildlife sanctuary, which another use of mixed reality. Yes. So you're getting I want to say biome, and it's not biome that technically you're creating, but you're going to do all the plant life. You're going to, if you listen to the trailer and hear that sheep, and if I have to hear that through the whole experience, I'll cry. But dude, it looks kind of fun. Not in like a, you know, like, oh, it's ultra realistic or we're using like real VR fishing type shit. You're not. But we're using mixed reality again. This is 3 in a row, dude. Boom, boom, boom. Coming out with some really good mixed reality usage. And I like the idea that you're going to have to like care for your animals and raise their environment and terrarium. That's the word I think I was looking for.
And the news with this is that the game came out. It's out now on the MetaQuest store. It's got a 4.9 currently. It's $19.99 as well on the Quest store. So congrats to them on what looks like a pretty good launch. 31 reviews already. Just came out November 7th. So out now. So DJ, it's an app that was on the Apple Vision Pro. As the name says, I would be disappointed if you were shooting enemies in a game called DJ. You're DJing. It was on the Apple Vision Pro, but it's now launched on the MetaQuest store. And dude, this one, I was skeptical at some of the claims in the trailer that you'll have access to millions of songs in it, but it's because you can connect it to like Pandora, Apple Music, and all that stuff. But it does come with 5,000 free tracks as well into it, and you can do exactly as it sounds. You DJ. You mix the tracks. I couldn't tell if you can export them, but I don't see why not. I mean, I imagine you can make some.
You can always record it.
Yeah, make a video
Just do it
recording of it.
yourself.
But $20 on the MetaQuest store, out now. So cool stuff, man. There's been a couple DJing apps in VR before, but this one looks like it's got some of the slickest interface I've seen yet. So
I got the big one.
I don't remember the name of
I
it.
don't remember it. And the only thing that turned me off is like
Virtuoso
you
or
have
something?
to. No, I have that too though.
Mm-hmm.
You have to upload all your music to it in order to DJ the songs. There's only 2 songs that organically come with the program. But what's cool is like you can invite your friends to watch you DJ, and you can also take real live DJ. Like you can have a real DJ come to your shit and be like, "Oh no, man, you got to hit this button." That's like authentic decks and stuff. Why I want this one is because it comes with songs.
5,000.
Yeah.
And then you can, like, I have Apple Music.
And not that like uploading your music's a big deal, but it's like, come on, I just want to turn my shit on and you feel inspired. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, let me upload that song. And but I'm all about anything music. So fuck it. I'll definitely get it.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
When's it out?
It's out now.
Right now, as we speak?
Yeah, it's out now.
Not too shabby. All right. For the lighter side of the news, and you brought up something interesting as the news was being put together, that why even bother sometimes. But Apple seems to be looking into the possibility of a pair of smart glasses in 2027.
Yeah, I've learned Apple's like such an
For
established like
$8,000.
Apple's such a established entity that like there's so many news outlets and analysts dedicated just to Apple rumors and stuff like that. It's like I feel like that's why one week we'll see a report about the Vision Pro, and the next week we see a report saying the exact opposite.
Different shit.
I take everything with a grain of salt with Apple at this point.
Apple knows how to stay very relevant.
Yeah. So like smart glasses could never come out. Could come out in 2028. Could be tomorrow's report.
Could be 2032.
I've seen way too many contradicting
Apple deny its own reports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently they're looking at smart glasses. It sounds reactionary to the Orion release.
Good luck.
Not release, showing.
Good.
Can't go buy a pair of Orion.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
can't go
damn you,
buy.
man.
Can you imagine? How much do you think a baby like those would cost right now? 10K?
Orion?
Yeah.
No.
5K? What do you think it cost? Would cost a consumer?
Probably $2,000-3,000. I think that's the whole idea.
I think that's what it will cost.
Yeah.
I'm talking about this first prototype that you can't even
think
buy.
it'd be $1 million.
I think probably like 20K to manufacture right now. You know,
Jesus Christ. All that like proprietary technology and all that, it's millions of dollars.
They didn't build that to show off to a crowd because they had, and like, cost efficient supply chains and stuff. That was probably like some expensive production on that thing.
Everyone who tried them said they're not as big as you would think.
I'm excited for that.
You can come out with smart glasses in 2027. Wait until people are only talking about like the Apples and the Metas.
It's going to have a wired puck on it.
What is?
I'm just being sarcastic.
Oh, the Apple glasses?
Yeah, it's going to have
I wouldn't surprise. I thought you were being serious. I was like, I wouldn't have thought less, like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Just got to wear a baseball cap with a big old fucking battery in the brim. No, we're just spoofing on Apple. But there's going to be a lot of other players stepping up to the game. And there's going to be companies that we've never heard of that will start making a name for themselves in these markets. So just because Apple says it or Meta says it, it's like we don't even know what companies are working with their own technologies. It's pretty freaking exciting, dude.
And correction, I don't think that these are looking to be AR glasses like Orion. It looks like they want to be more like the Meta Ray-Bans.
Yeah, that's why I was like, they're not competing with Orion.
No, okay.
They haven't even begun.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way they would have that by
To me, that announcement, other than like spies and insider shit, to me, that presentation when they announced Orion was a serious gut punch to a lot of people. Like,
well, let's be real.
Holy crap. Dude.
The Ray-Bans are a cool freaking product. Like, those have caught a lot of people off guard how good they are.
There was a lot of people.
That's something Apple might be able to pull off the smart glasses market just because they're Apple. The world, like, that's what people were trying to do with the Vision Pro. Like, make it like a look almost that you have an Apple product.
Where if they came out with But see, 2027 is too far out.
Yeah, who
because,
knows
like,
where the Ray-Bans are going to be at by then.
Apple does their smartwatches. So it's like you could easily integrate the smartwatch into the smart
No,
glasses. So they have an edge there.
I think they're going to nail the smart glasses market much better than they nailed the VR market.
But if it's 2 years out, that gives all the time in the world for Well, so we'll see.
But that's actually a product.
I like
you know what?
competitiveness.
I could see them doing really good with smart glasses just because people love Apple.
Is it? Yeah, it syncs right to your phone.
They'll probably sell them for $1,000, right?
Talks to you, say your own
You know,
name.
you have Siri with it.
Yeah.
You know, I could see them doing good there.
What would you
To
like
be
me to
fair.
call you?
To be fair, they're probably going to do good there. All right, so I'll try to get through these last ones relatively, not distracted. Sometimes it's hard. Dig VRs, they released their first making of episode on YouTube, which details the game's origins, which I highly recommend to check out.
Yeah, man, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Yeah, dude, they've done such a good job. I mean, how long ago did we have Ben on the podcast talking about it?
It was a while ago.
I mean, he's gone guerrilla marketing style in our Discord.
Crushing it, though.
I feel like every day we're talking about Dig, but in good, because he's a cool dude as well, And Dig VR is a fun freaking game.
Yeah, dude, it'd be different if, like, imagine if it sucked.
Yeah, let's not go
I'd
there.
be like, dude, can you ban him from? Can we mute him?
No, Dig VR is awesome. So if you haven't yet, definitely go check out this first making of episode available now on YouTube.
And hey, let's be honest, he had to push back for all the right reasons. A release that was going up against one of the biggest titles to release in 2024. Holy crap. Obviously didn't wake up and say, I'm planning on doing that, but it happened. Bootstrap Island, that is not out for the Quest. Probably won't be anytime soon because it would just melt the headset, but it is something we got to try out in Germany. And they're adding a new boss and a new area to the PC VR survival game.
One of the best PC VR exclusive games I've played.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. For survival games, it's so
they had
fun.
me with just the water.
I don't think it'll ever run on the Quest.
Slapping that water.
Whenever I first opened up the coconut and I saw the way the coconut water was in the coconut, I was like, yeah, this is never going to be on the Quest.
Is this made with Unity?
It's going to take the Quest 4 for that to be on it, but it's a good freaking game.
Dude, it's great. But if that's one of the rare times I guess we talk about strictly
that's
VR,
that's a PC VR game.
You can pound salt. That is not coming to the Quest 3 anytime soon.
We're going to eat our words one day bad on this, right? I hope so.
That's kind of why I was putting it out there. I swear to God.
I want to be wrong on this one.
I was like, man, if I talk some shit, you think like I get proven wrong? Like, hey, just see. But let's be honest. If it does come to let's know the limitations of what we're playing with. I don't think you're going to get that same level of detail.
No. The way that, again, the coconut water in the coconut, I was like, yep, we hit. This thing is, and it's important. Like, you have to look at water levels in stuff. You can hold the water up to the light to see the amount that's in there. It's like,
through the flask,
to pull that off on the Quest, I don't think so, but it's a freaking damn good game. So
I'd love it to come to Quest, though.
If you have access to PC VR, highly recommend Bootstrap Island.
If they could pull it off, they'd crush it, though.
Yep. Fearsome boss. Get the hell out of here. So those animals trying to attack me at the fire was enough of a boss.
Yeah, like we need a boss.
Yeah, right. So Galaxy Kart, a game from VR Monkey. Love those monkeys. Those virtual monkeys. Galaxy Kart is now going to support cross-platform multiplayer on all the platforms the game's out on. So that's huge. I think for any VR multiplayer game, like it just came out that Gorilla Tag at launch is for PSVR 2 is only going to be, is not going to have crossplay at first. It's like just PSVR 2 players. It's like, no, you really need that crossplay on these type of things. So this is a big one.
Heroes Battle Dark Sword is offering free 1v1 tabletop strategy on Quest headsets. And I don't see Quest 3 only, so that should include the Quest family of 3s and the Quest 2.
So it's out now and it's free. Come on, man. Let me go to their store page. No, it says supports Quest 2 Pro and Quest 3.
Pro. That's one you don't hear a lot.
Yeah. So it's available on Quest 2, the Quest Pro, and the Quest 3, and it's free to play out now. That's not bad.
No.
This one looks fun. I'm excited to play it with you. It looks unique. They say that they have a ranking system and a progression system. and you unlock words across a quote-unquote hero pass. Hero pass makes me think battle pass. A lot of times you pay for battle pass. I
But
said,
at least you get to try it free.
yeah, but I'd rather just you usually battle pass and you got to play multiple times. Ooh, right now it's rocking a 3.1 with 41 ratings, with some of the reviews saying pay to win, but I don't know how.
I don't like that, because that was the gut
fear
feeling you had. Yeah. Is it legit pay to win though?
I don't know. We need to check it out and play ourselves, because we've been looking at this.
Because if it is a true,
I'll said it before, especially for a game like this that's competitive, just charge me, and then have nothing that affects in-game anything besides cosmetics. You can sell me skins,
yeah,
but you can't have anything that alters gameplay.
Gives you an advantage.
That just means now because I see the 3.1, I feel like we got to go check it out this week and give some reporting on it next week. See how actual pay to win it is, or if people are just being over the top about it.
No, if it's pay to win, we'll make it very clear.
But it could just be people being unfair to a clearly early access game as well too. But it is out now for free, 1v1. I see some people saying it's a little similar to Glass Breakers, which was out for a little bit from Polyarch, and then they pulled the beta of it. But I'm excited for Glass Breakers too, so this maybe will hold me over in the meantime. But let's see, 3.1 isn't exactly always the launch you want to come out swinging with. But anywho, Live, the VR capture software, very popular with PC VR YouTubers and such, or well, VR streamers and YouTubers, but Live is something that you needed to use through a computer. They've now launched a standalone SDK for developers to integrate into their games, so that you can now do like streamer cam recording kind of natively through Quest games. Of course, it's on the developer to integrate this into their game. Like Gorilla Tag has already integrated it, and that's how you'll see like a lot of times people do like if you go to Gorilla Tag social media, you'll see like people running around with the camera facing them, and you can see their body. That's how they're doing it, is through stuff like this. So imagine a game like Thrill of the Fight. You put the camera so it's showing the whole ring, and then it's not through your eyes you're boxing. You're seeing like the character and such too. So it's kind of a game changer for that type of content creation as well.
Yeah, I mean, more or less strictly for content creation, but
yeah, that's who Live is targeted towards. Or like we were playing the Mixologist. Imagine you set up a camera, above the bar, facing towards the bar. So then that's a much better view for people to view it.
Than watching your point.
So the fact that you're going to be able to do this natively through Quest games, so long as developers integrate it, that's huge for content creation. You should see some cool videos coming out soon.
A lot of cool happenings, man. Squiddo Studio has secured $3 million in funding to accelerate the development and the rollout of DigiGods. That is a huge fucking chunk of money.
Yeah, it is.
$3 million, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. Kudos on that. That
DigiGods was called something previously too, like Antarctitex or something like that, and then they've rebranded to DigiGods.
DigiGods just sounds cooler.
Kind of sounds like Digimon, you know. 3 million's no joke either.
It'll work for Digimon, it'll work for DigiGods.
So huge props to them, though.
That's legit.
That's a legit amount of money. So cool stuff. Exit Condition 1 Escape Room. It's an upcoming, as you can tell by the name, VR escape room.
There's a handful of these.
Yeah, it's getting an official Quest Store release on December 6th. And you mentioned, we've been playing like Another Door. Stuck on one of the puzzles right now. Oh my goodness, stuck. I cannot wait to finish it. But it's been a good year for
Another
escape
Door
rooms.
is ridiculously hard.
Yeah, there's this one puzzle.
Or I'm ridiculously dumb.
And we were blowing through the whole level until we got stuck too. And it's like there's always just one puzzle on each level that just kills us. But Exit Condition 1 Escape Room coming out December 6th. So I'm excited for that one.
Okay. December 6th?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why do I feel like there's some shit coming around that one? It's not a big deal, though. All right. This is weird. I'm kind of mixed on this one because we're dealing with a remake of a 2017 title, and that just seems so far freaking away. Like, I avoid sometimes games if I see they're that old. I'm like, the technology has moved so much farther than then. But Nevrosa. It's hard to say, man. say it, Nevrosa Rescape doing a 2017 remake to scare the shit out of us.
VR horror.
It's a puzzle game, but let's be honest. If it's a puzzle game, then you're going to be under the gun, and then shit's going to try to kill you, eat you, or make you dead.
And you said you were worried about December 6th. Probably what you're thinking is Behemoth's coming out December 5th.
Thank you. I knew there was something around.
And Behemoth has become like your number one hyped game.
I don't own it. I'll say it.
Yeah, you've yet to play it. We didn't get to play it at Gamescom. I'm not going to be
like, aha, I really did own it.
No, like genuinely, we did not play it at Gamescom.
Did not play it at Gamescom. I do not own it. I just have this weird suspicion that it is the sleeper of the year just waiting. And I don't know. It's like, I don't think there's anything.
So Nevrosa Escape, it looks pretty decent. It's going to be hard for me to do Home Alone. VR horror.
We watched the trailer. I was like, I don't know about this. But then I'm like, why are they remaking 17s? Probably because it was scary.
I Expect You to Die. It came out in 2016, 2017. So it's like, imagine if that was now on the Quest yet. That could still come to the Quest today and do good.
But when you can take a game from 2017, know it's a solid time.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it.
But why so many scary games now?
Yeah,
what's going? Is this a Chris Pruitt thing? Because there's no more fucking App Lab, he's got nothing to do. So
he's like, just green light all the horror ones.
Damn, dude.
So cool stuff.
Yeah.
But on my last piece of news, speaking of Behemoth, we were just talking, it's coming out December 5th, I'm sorry. And ahead of that, they actually just launched an island on Fortnite. That's an interesting marketing.
Collaboration?
Yeah. I didn't expect to see that. It doesn't look like an official collaboration with Fortnite either. It looks like that they partnered with a third-party company that went in and built the world in Fortnite Creative. But it's interesting to see this type of marketing.
Fortnite's got a ginormous population, dude. Just ginormous.
Yeah, Epic Games does do official collaborations with Fortnite worlds, but Fortnite Creative's one that anybody can go and make a world in. So again, it's not an official collaboration with Fortnite, but it's there. Yeah, it's cool to see some different types of marketing taking place. That's a unique one. I've yet to see that done in VR.
I think all Behemoth has to do is just come out now, and if it's as good as I'm thinking,
I'm
it's
so
gonna
hyped
be,
for it,
right? But I'm hoping, dude, it's not just more hype. So this will be a quick one, last one on mine.
Maybe one of the more exciting ones. I don't know. I'm pumped for this one.
I've seen a lot of videos of people playing. I bought it on sight unseen. Crowbar Climber. You got
it looks like a Flash iOS game that exists, right?
Yeah. You can watch countless videos of people playing this. And I don't know if it's just on iOS or if it's like on flat screen, because I've never played it, but I've seen so many videos of it, dude. And you got crowbar arms, and you got to pull yourself up over obstacles, and it looks really fucking hard.
Even the video the
trailer's top notch.
They're screaming, they're dropping F-bombs, they're beep, beep, beep. This game,
but you can clearly tell what he's saying because he does the, fuck.
It was funny.
Yeah, dude.
Because it sums up what a game like this is about. It's about getting frustrated.
I think I paid $6.99.
Yeah, and it looks fun.
On, man. It looks hours of frustration
with VR.
It's a rage quit game, though.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. You don't. There's
no
way
my way after this one.
So smart. Oh yeah, right. I feel so smart.
I'm pumped for it. Crowbar Climber.
Yep. $6.99. How can you not?
Yeah, hard to beat that.
Is there a way? It could be shit, and I paid $6.99, but I already know it's not. So
fun stuff today, dude. We went through it at the end a little fast there, but we had a fun.
We had to.
Well, hey, we have tech tips with TBZ at the end of this one, so we got to roll into that, and then we got some fun stuff coming later this week. We have some more Tabor Radio coming next month. Exciting stuff coming for the podcast. So many freaking games complicating our award show, which you'll be hearing our categories of soon. And then after that, we'll be talking nominees and then obviously winners. But dude, why couldn't all this shit come out in March and then we know what's,
we knew the end of the year was going to be exciting though.
Yeah. That's why
coming a mile
you
away.
can't do awards before the end of the year.
No,
Because you have games like Behemoth on December 5th.
You don't know what's going to come out.
Behemoth could be game of the year. And like what? You're going to do awards on December 1st and miss Behemoth?
That'd be an injustice.
Behemoth looks so freaking good. And who knows what else is coming between now and the end of the year. We have Trombone Champ Unflattened, November 26th. I mean, dude, rhythm games. We had Maestro.
Mm-hmm.
We had Band Space. We had Taiko Frenzy. Dude, Underdogs came out here. Just look at roguelites, Underdogs, and then you have gems like Crumbling.
Underdogs came out in 24, huh?
Yeah.
Seems like it's been out longer.
Right?
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, you want me to pull up their release date right now?
No, that dude.
And Crumbling came out this year too?
Whoa.
Crumbling, dude, that's how long of a year of releases it's been. There's been so many. Remember Crumbling?
Crumbling was great.
Oh,
I was in it. I was in Crumbling like, what, a month ago?
Yeah.
And there was the new character pack.
Okay, that's huge for the game.
Yeah.
Dude, Underdogs with a 4.9 rating. It's got 1.3K reviews, and it came out January 25th, 2024.
Okay. So it was right after the
new year, but
good
it's
for them.
Dude, that's one of the best releases.
OMG.
So what a complicated
Oh my god, dude.
What a complicated year for freaking awards, dude.
I thought they came out in 23.
Crumbling came out the week before January 18th. I feel so bad for them because Crumbling is a damn good roguelite. I think Underdogs is a better one.
Yeah, dude.
But it doesn't mean Crumbling's not a phenomenal game
totally
as well.
opposite games.
But both are roguelites.
Both are yeah. I mean Underdogs is raw, right? I mean, it's
gnarly.
Raw, it's dirty, it's grimy, it's oily, it's fucking glass in my eye.
But
Crumbling, your kids could play.
Yeah,
right?
it's Disney. It's cute.
It's cute. It's fun.
Heartwarming.
Challenging. I absolutely love Crumbling, and I absolutely love Underdogs.
Mm-hmm. So, man, what a
but
fucking
Underdogs
award show
Crumbling?
we have this year.
Underdogs.
What award show we have this year. It's going to be so hard. So, anyway, hope you enjoy our first ever segment as well of Tech Tips with TPZ. If you have
I'm
any...
excited.
Again, it's, not like TPZ works in the industry. It's just, he's somebody that's just passionate about this stuff. So if you have any questions about, things that you want some answers on, drop them in our Discord and we'll ask them for next time. So if you enjoy this episode, as always, subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Maybe you're so inclined, smash that like button, join the Patreon, join the Discord, and we will check you out next week. And I forgot, as always, huge shout out to our mod team on the Discord. Shoes, Amelia, King Canuck, you all crush it. So check you all out next time. Ciao, ciao. Hey, welcome to this new segment of Ruff Talk VR. I'm very excited for this one.
Dude, I've been holding my mouth shut about this going down. I'm really pumped that we're doing this.
Mm-hmm. We need to bring the community in more. We've done Shoes Clues in the past. We need to do another segment of those soon. And today we're bringing a new segment to the show, a brainchild of you, because you were playing with this gentleman in Walkabout Mini Golf, and you were so impressed on the on-the-fly tech support.
While golfing, mind you.
Yep, you got to stay focused.
So we're golfing, and I could see that his brain was visualizing all the tech things that he was trying to solve for someone that was having a...
So you came over that next Sunday, and you're like, we should do something with, getting some tips from him. So today we have the first edition of Tech Tips with TPZ.
Dude, I love the flow of the name.
Too good of a name to not incorporate. So TPZ, before we get carried away, we dive into what the actual segment is. Do you want to do a brief introduction of yourself? You've been an active member of the Ruff Talk VR Discord and community for quite a while now. So I think some of the community there will be excited to hear from the man himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it'll be nice to put a face to a name. Well, first off, thanks for having me on, guys. It was an honor. Stratus, you smoked me at Walkabout Mini Golf. But so we'll have a rematch and maybe it'll go my way next time. But yeah, just a brief little summary about myself. I got into VR, hardcore in 2020 with the Quest 2, pretty much got it right at launch. Had a friend reach out to me and recommended it to me. Before that, I had no experience in VR. I think I tried PSVR 1 at a local mall one time when PlayStation was doing something, and I played half of a song in Beat Saber, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I didn't have a PlayStation, so I just kind of ignored it. But yeah, when the Quest 2 came out, as you guys know, that kind of revolutionized the whole industry. And yeah, I've been into VR pretty much ever since. Quest 2, Quest 3, I dabbled a little bit with the Link software with the cable. Had an extender because I wanted like 30 feet of space. And then that didn't really work out all that well. I was having some performance issues. And then I saw this thing called virtual desktop. This was kind of before AirLink was a thing. So I gave it a shot. I was working with a Google Mesh router system that was not ideal. So it had some choppiness, but that was enough of me to kind of catch the bug and dive into how I can optimize wireless PC VR.
Well, and you do come from a tech background, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been in the IT world for about 12 years, spent about 7 years of that doing desk side support. I can't really say the company I worked for. But yeah, I've got an IT background, love helping people. I like to talk too. So it's kind of like a win-win for everybody, really.
Well, the Quest is a all-in-one standalone headset. VR, mixed reality, no wires. But with that, it's wireless. It's got to connect to the Wi-Fi somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to go PC VR, you got to connect to the PC somehow. So wireless always creates the potential for, maybe some hiccups here and there, whether that be to your Wi-Fi connection or just getting your shit connected to the computer in general. So that kind of brings us to what we're going to be talking today and in future segments of Tech Tips with DPZ. We will kind of want to go over the common headaches that people have when they go, even just connecting their headset into a proper Wi-Fi setup, but also, when you go to dive into stuff like PC VR through virtual desktop and stuff. So, I figured today would kind of be like, we had talked a little bit, like what you would expect the best tips to be for somebody taking that headset out of the box for the first time. So do you want to kind of take us away with what a proper setup might look like for VR gaming?
Yeah, absolutely. And these are all kind of just general rules of thumb. I'm sure there's someone out there who's going to disagree with some of the stuff I have to say because their setup might be different and it might work well for them. But this is just kind of general rules of thumb for across the board: Steam Link, AirLink, virtual desktop. But three of like the main big tips that you're going to see a huge performance with wireless PC VR. The first one that is kind of mandatory is connecting your PC to your router with an Ethernet cable. Okay, you can use an Ethernet cable that's like a Cat 5e, 6 or 6e. Any of those will be great, but you need that connection there to cut down any of the lag. The second thing that I recommend everyone does, and I'm kind of going from easiest to hardest here. I guess the next thing would be just try and play as close to your router as possible. If you play as close to your router as possible, it's going to cut down on any obstruction there might be. This could be anything like walls, refrigerators, different stories in your home, different floors, things like that. And the third tip, if you want really good wireless PC VR performance, is you need to make sure you connect to your 5 gigahertz band on your router. Most routers, they kind of have two bands. There's a 2.4 gigahertz and a 5 gigahertz. The 5 gigahertz is the one that offers you the most kind of bang for your buck. It's the highest speed, and that's the one you want to operate on. But a lot of people run into issues because they connect to the router, and most routers have a thing called Smart Connect. And that's where it just allows whatever device you're using, whether it's a head-mounted display VR headset, a phone, or a laptop, to just kind of like change which band it's connected to depending on frequency strength. So if you're farther away from your router, it might connect you to the 2.4 gigahertz. If you're closer, it'll be 5. But sometimes you're playing VR, like when I was working with my first Google Mesh system, it kept bouncing me between 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. And I would get these crazy stutters and lag. And anytime I moved my head from side to side, I would see those crazy black bars. And it's because I wasn't on the 5 gigahertz. So to eliminate that, what you can do is you just log onto your router and you can kind of you can separate those, or you can disable Smart Connect. If you wanted to separate those, you can create like 2 SSIDs, call one, home Wi-Fi 2.4 and home Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz. And if you do that, when you connect to the 5 gigahertz, you will never, connect accidentally to the 2.4. And those 3 things will give you like the best performance you can. And of course, there's ways you can optimize it to get even more performance out of it. But if you just follow those kind of 3 steps, connect your PC with an Ethernet cable, play as close as possible to your router, and make sure you're on the 5 gigahertz channel, then you're setting yourself up for a really good time. So sorry, that was a lot to throw at you guys, but
no.
That was good. What were you going to say?
Yeah, and that you're talking like that's going to be like if you have a cable modem, it's going to be that exact situation.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, pretty, yeah.
It's pretty standard. You're going to have the two different. Okay.
Exactly. And now because, YouTube is such a bustling platform, you can find a lot of like video tutorials for various routers. And even if you can't find your same router or modem, generally the steps are pretty much the same. And of course, there's lots of support. There's different Discord groups you can find. Twitter is also a good way. I've helped people out in there, and especially Reddit too. I see a lot of posts on our Oculus Quest and Oculus.
Now, of course, that's in the perfect world. You go in, you do those three things, and you never have any stuttering. I'm sure you've spent a lot of time playing around in virtual desktop and various settings to optimize even further. So let's say a user goes through those three things and they're still getting some stutters or some lag or whatnot. What are some of the things that you've played around with a bit in settings, whether that's with your router or inside virtual desktop, to kind of optimize even further?
Yeah, absolutely. If you are encountering a lot of stuttering or lagging when you're doing wireless PC VR, the first thing you want to do is try and pull up a performance overlay. I believe Steam Link has one. AirLink has something along those lines, but Virtual Desktop is the one that I kind of specialize in, and that's got a nice performance overlay. You do have to turn it on, but once you turn it on, you can toggle it by pressing in both thumbsticks. By activating that performance overlay, it's going to show you your latency times. And they've done a really good job of making the GUI like very easy to read, because you're going to see a bunch of numbers and they're going to jump around a whole bunch. Any numbers that are in yellow or orange, that means you got high latency. And then that'll kind of tell you where your problems might be. It might be with your network, or it might be with your GPU. So that's kind of a different way. But you really have to find out where the problem is coming from in order to change that. Like for instance, if you pull up the performance overlay on virtual desktop and you see, what is it called here? If you see the game section is really high, that's generally your CPU and your GPU usage. So chances are the graphic settings are probably set a little bit too high. So just try and reduce those and you can get some extra performance that way. If you have something like maybe your network is too high, that's usually like your network settings. You can try and download. Well, this might be a little bit too involved, but there's a free app you can get on your phones. It's called Wi-Fi Analyzer. Generally what happens is you pull that up and you can see all sorts of things with your wireless signal. Chances are the channel that your Wi-Fi is on is just a little congested. So perhaps your neighbor's Wi-Fi is on the same channel. It's just interference, that kind of stuff. Or another way you can do it is you can try and tone down the bit rate of streaming. So if a higher bit rate means the image will be nice, clear, and crisp. And if you tone it down, it'll become like a little blurry, but you can find a happy medium, and that helps out a lot.
And okay, so let's say you discover, like, I get the app and I turn it on, I'm like, hey, there's all these people on the same channel.
That was actually going to be what I went into.
Yeah,
that was probably the most high level one, but
what do I do?
Yeah, what's the point in changing channels, and like how do you? Let's go a little deeper into that one.
So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have brought that up because that is a little bit more of a high level. Now it sounds scarier than it really is, because a lot of these GUI, GUI stands for graphical user interface. It's kind of what you see when you log into your router. You will see there's a section generally for channels. But if you pull up your Wi-Fi analyzer, and let's say you're broadcasting on channel 80 and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 6 other wireless devices that are broadcasting on this channel, like my neighbors or something. You can actually just go, there's a nice little drop down, and you just try a different channel and you can test it out. And if there's nobody else on that channel, then there'll be less interference, which means better performance, happy user.
And from a consumer standpoint, if you live in like an apartment building, what are the chances? Is it pretty standard that they put as many people on the same channel as they can?
Well, some routers, what they'll do is they kind of have like an auto config where it'll try and look at the channels and put you on a different channel. And with that, you can get stutters too, because it might put you on channel 80 and then it's like 20 minutes later, oh, this is becoming too congested. I'll throw you onto a different channel, which then causes kind of some stutters. But generally with apartment complexes, because everyone uses Wi-Fi these days, there'll probably be a lot of interference. And if you did live in an apartment complex, generally like on the virtual desktop Discord, they would recommend that you get like a a dedicated router. And I know that sounds very scary, but generally it's not. It's pretty easy to set up, and you can get some cheap routers. I know we're probably going a bit deeper than what you guys wanted to. But yeah, wireless PC VR streaming is totally possible in an apartment complex. It just might take you a little bit longer just to sift through the madness and tweak some settings.
Well, it sounds like anything that's like dynamically changing, like when it hops you from frequencies or hops you from different channels, it sounds like that's what causes a lot of stutter. Maybe not most of the stutter, but a lot of them.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct about that. Yeah. Anything that kind of interrupts your play session, because all these other devices, they have to reconnect and then, redo those handshakes. So yeah, you're absolutely correct in that. So if you can create, the more things you can get set to like a static, which means that it won't change, is best.
Mm-hmm. And I know this is going to be a very basic question for, people that understand tech stuff. But of course, with the Quest being a standalone headset that you can just kind of grab and use, it does open up the user that picks up a headset and might run into headaches. So for somebody that goes dedicated router, how do you go about that? Is that something you need to contact your cable company, let them know you're adding another router? Is it as simple as just buy one, hook it up to the cable on your wall, and you're good to go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can just go out and you can buy like kind of a basic Wi-Fi 5 router. Really, it doesn't have to be the newest and shiniest 6E to give you that 6 gigahertz. But if you just go out and buy like a $40 router, you can just hook that directly to your PC. So Ethernet cable from your PC to that router, and then you can just stream wireless PC VR. But the only downside is if you don't turn it on bridge mode, which once again, it's kind of getting pretty deep. You won't have access to the internet. But if you want to play single player games like Vertigo 2, Half-Life Alyx, and you don't need internet connection, that's like a really good way.
What is bridge mode? Just because now
bridge mode will allow your PC to like pass through an internet connection. So you could have your PC, physically connected to that router, but also your PC would be feeding off of your like main router's Wi-Fi. So it kind of passes along that Wi-Fi signal.
Would there be a downside performance-wise to having bridge?
Well,
on?
if you wanted to do that with like a multiplayer game, you might experience some lag for sure. So if you're trying to play something like Veil, I don't know why I thought of Veil. Maybe it's from their memes that have been going on. But really, any competitive shooter where you kind of need that upper hand, like really good connection, that's when you might suffer a little bit. So that's why I recommend if you're just going to do a dedicated router that doesn't have internet, mainly probably just want to stick to the single player games.
Mm-hmm. And then how would you get it with internet on that dedicated router in a way that doesn't cause?
Yeah, you could kind of do what I have for my setup. So I have a dedicated router that I really only use for my Quest 3. I did splurge and I went with the Wi-Fi 6E because I wanted the 6 gigahertz to make everything as smooth as butter. And let me tell you, it is. But for my setup, like I said, I spent a lot of time and money dialing my stuff in. But so my dedicated router actually has an Ethernet cable going from that router to my home's main router. So like the router that I got from my internet service provider. And then my PC is connected to my dedicated router. So my dedicated router is getting internet through Ethernet cable from my other router, and it's feeding it to my PC.
Okay, but if you're in a setup that like your gaming PC is in the same room as your current router, anyway, that's not too complex of a thing, right?
No, then that's pretty simple. You just take an Ethernet cable from your PC and then throw it over to your main router, and then just make sure you're connected to your router's 5 gigahertz channel and have fun.
Pretty simple. I mean, that's my situation.
Too easy, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, the reason I when you mentioned the dedicated router, the reason I wanted to ask more on that is because I think a lot of people hear that, if they're not extremely tech savvy, they go, oh man, dedicated router, I'm going to need to call my cable company. I'm going to need to, what is that? 2 Wi-Fi signal. Like it
right.
Just, they kind of lose it. So
totally.
I think it's good for people.
Scary.
Yeah, absolutely. But once it's like you just take it out of the box and plug it in like you would anything else. It kind of takes away a lot of that, I'll say like shadow over it.
I mean, some of them look intimidating. All the plugs and shit in the back, and little antennas and
a dozen antennas. Yeah, it looks very overwhelming for sure. And I mean, not to be a shill or anything, but if you are super interested in this and you've tried it and it's still not working out, a great resource, especially if you're using virtual desktop, is just to check out the virtual desktop Discord. There they have a lot of, frequently asked questions, a lot of tech tips, and they also have like a variety of different routers that you could purchase that they've tested and say, gets their like certification stamp. And they have broke it down from like uber cheap routers to uber expensive, like high performance routers. But so I highly recommend that, not to shill them. Also, Ruff Talk, shout out to Ruff Talk VR Discord. Love you guys.
Well, what I was going to say is we did jump a little bit. We did some like best practices.
Sorry, it just shows you the amount of info that really, depending on what level you want to take your VR experience, like you can bring it to. And we just scratched the surface.
Oh yeah, we're lucky that we just plug it in and it works, but that's not the case for a lot of people. So I'm glad that we touched on like the best practices. That the three simple. Went a little bit deeper into the routers, but what I want to invite the community to, like if you've been having any headaches, I guess, with wireless VR or PC VR gaming, drop them in the Discord, start to ask some questions, and we can make a nice list for the next segment of this, and we can really pick TPZ's brain.
And if not, I got plenty. So,
Absolutely.
This was a very quick 20. It flew by, but before we wrap this up, TPZ, is there anything else that you wanted to bring to the table today?
Nothing really. Just wanted to shout out, thanks again for having me on the pod. I've been a long time listener. I really appreciate everything you guys do, for the community, for VR in general. But I also too wanted to say, if anyone out there is listening to this and you have any issues, feel free to join the Ruff Talk Discord and find me and shoot me a DM, and I'm always happy to help. Sometimes my availability is a little crazy because I've got small kids at home, which takes a lot of my time. But I will usually answer because, I like helping people. I'm really passionate about VR and networking and all that stuff. So, thanks for having me on, guys. This is great.
Absolutely. Again, like I said, it starts inspired by, or like you guys were doing walkabout. And
let me just say too, in all fairness to PZ, was like, we were holding a very competitive. It was really competitive right from the go, and he did pull away. I didn't come out and win it until like the very end. So I scathed through that win.
You were sandbagging. I know that's what's going on here.
It's all right. He tends to do that. I was playing Dumb Ways to Die with him yesterday, and I kept almost winning, and then you would just come back and win 4 in a row.
No, archery's the best example. Archery pro.
Mofo. But nonetheless, you're a busy man too. So if you don't have time for any of those questions or all of them, like I said, we'll make a good list for the next segment of this, and we'll kind of start to chip away at them. So
absolutely.
Hope all the listeners, you enjoyed the first edition of Tech Tips with TPZ.
Hopefully my hair is okay.
Awesome. All right, we'll check you out next time.
Thanks, guys. Take care.